folks, thanks for checking out the lesson here for Brown's Ferry Blues in the key of G. As you saw and heard there, I created 2 arrangements for this tune, and it's largely in the Doc Watson style, his sound, his approach, especially that first arrangement right there. I transcribed a lot of his licks and phrases from his album Doc Watson, A Life's Work, a retrospective, and yeah, I transcribed one of his solos, put a lot of it. It's not, no verbatim per se, but a lot of his styles going on in there, a lot of his solo. And the second time through, I've just kind of put my approach, my take into it in his style a little bit and added a lot more cross-picking to the solo. As always, I'm going to break everything down note for note, measure for measure. If you want to download all the tablature and notation, the multi-speed backing tracks with and without lead, and access the sound slice tool so you can slow down and loop things, click the link in the description below. Let's start walking through that first arrangement. All right, let's put those first 4 up on the screen here. I'll play them and then break them down. So, 1, 2. Again, 1, 2. All right, so with the pick up there on beat 3, starts in the open G, and 2nd fret, G, and I'm going to slide to the 4th fret. So I'm not going to pick this note, although you could, but I don't have it marked there. So, and then I'm going to get into this shape right here, which, if you're not familiar with already, is of course kind of the F shape. I refer to it as the F shape, but it's sounding a G chord, of course. Okay, part of the bigger bar chord, and we're going to be using this. It's a chord here, got 3 notes. I'm going to be using this a lot in this arrangement. So, get used to it. And then I'm going to outline the chord essentially. So, downbeat there on the 4th fret of the G, and then 3 on the B. And then I'm going to pluck both of them, the B and the E together. Kind of a double stop. 1, 2, 3, and then strum them. And I'll even kind of detach them a little bit so you can hear this. Whoop. So I kind of, between the 2nd beat and the 3rd beat, I kind of put a little space in between there. 1, 2, 3, and then I strum. And then here, measure 3, 5th on the B, plucking the E string with it as well. So, and then on the upstroke, I'm going to come back to 3 and 3, and then on the next downstroke, 3 and 4, 3 on the B, 4 on the G. So again, all taking place in this shape here, and then double stops with the B and the E, essentially harmonizing the melody note. And then 0, 2 on the G. And then measure 4, we're going to go 3 on the B. 3 on the G string, 1 on the B. And I found this a little bit, I had trouble for some reason putting these 2 fingers down at the same time. I noticed that I don't do that very often. Right here, 3 and 1. It took me a minute to get used to that. So 3 and 1, and then 2 and 1. Those are just quarter notes there, downstrokes. 1, 2, and then 0 and 1. 8th notes, I'm going to do a down up or kind of a strum, I guess. And then 2 on the D, and open G. So I'm getting into the C chord or C7 perhaps. Starting off with that C7 effect there, the B flat is the flatted 7 of the C chord. So I'll put it all together in context a little bit. 1, 2. Again, this is all inspired by Doc Watson. A lot of this stuff is transcribed from a solo or a couple of his solos. They sound very similar on his life's work, I believe, is the album, and Brown's Ferry Blues, obviously the tune. And he has a handful of solos, and it's just I'm just pulling a handful of licks and phrases, his stylistic approach, I guess, and kind of putting it into this arrangement. There's more nuance, of course, in his solos, but this is certainly, again, you're going to get that sound, that feel his playing. All right, and then moving on here, the next four. Okay, there's a lot of stuff from the album solo right here. Measure 5, you go back to the C7 sound, 3 on the G, 1 on the B, then 2-1, and then open G, 2 on the D, open D, 2 on the A. And then right here, measure 6, it's almost kind of like a little boogie woogie lick, if you will, but he does it. So 3 on the low E, 2 on the A, open D twice, and then 2-0 pull on the D. Measure 7, open G, strum. Gonna come up to our double stops again. 3 on the B, 4 on the G. I'll probably slide into them, and then walk down chromatically to the D7. So 3, 4, 2, 3, then 1, 2. Making that D7. I do this move all the time. When I'm going from a G to a D, I love doing this, it gets sequence. And then I'm going to cross pick through the D7 chord a little bit. So E, B, G, then open E, B, G. So that open E effectively kind of makes it like a D7-9 or a D9 chord, however you want to think about it. All right, and then I put them all together here. Ready, go. Then moving on. So we're still on the D7 in measure 9, and we're going to continue with this little cross-picking move here. And just going to be a little syncopated in the middle, so really watch your right hand. But E, B, G, and then open E, and it's tied there for half a beat. So 1 and 2 and 3 and, so on the and of 3, second on the G. Then 0-2 hammer on the G. So, and then now the tune essentially kind of starts over, like, you know, it's A and then A prime, if you will, or kind of repeating the first 8 bars. It's not exactly the same, but it's sort of like that here, kind of the first sentence and now the second sentence. And it's going to start out the same here. Going up to the 4th fret of the G, 3 on the B, and then double stops on B and G, B and E, and then strumming it. Measure 2 is the same as measure 4. Then right here, we're going to go 5 on the B, 3 on the G, back to 3s. This is a little different here than the beginning. I'm going to 4-2 slide on the G, and then open G, then 0-2 on the G, and here's our C7 approach here. 3 on the G, 1 on the B, so 1, then down to 1 and 2, and then open with the 1st fret B. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that's all the same. 4 is the same as 12. So let me play all 4 of those together. 2, ready, go. down here to the last 4 of this arrangement. Essentially kind of going up and down, you know, G run up, and then going down, and then another G run. And that's, again, what he does on his solos, you know, from the album. They're very close anyway. So that's measure 13, and measure 13, is, again, is exactly the same as measure 5. It's all the same there. That's C7. And then 2, 1, open. 2 on the D, open D, 2 on the A. And then here, low string 3rd fret, open A, 1, slide to 2, open D. And then here, 1, 2 slide, then open D. A little different. Whoops. Measure 15, this is going to be over top of the D chord. It's going to be open G, 2, hammer 3, back to 2, pull to 0, 2 on the D, open D, 2 on the A, down to the low string. And then just the G run to end it there in measure 16. Just the last 4, 2, ready, go. So there's the first arrangement. I'm going to play through the whole thing here so you can see it all go by. Nice and easy, kind of a slow walkthrough clip. And yeah, here it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So, and if you're on my site and, you know, like, you can take these slow walkthrough clip, and if you use Sound Slice on it, you can slow down and loop the parts. You can, you know, just do sections. You can do the whole thing, just one measure at a time, and you can loop them, and you can slow it down or speed it up. All right, so it's a really powerful practice tool. And yeah, if you like the lesson, you want to access the second arrangement, download the tablature, the multi-speed backing tracks that come with and without lead, and access the Sound Slice tool that I was talking about. Just click the link in the description below, and you can do that and access hundreds of lessons and Sound Slice on all of those lessons. And yeah, that's it for this one. Take care.